Hi, in this video we will discuss about the evolutionary process which that is due to the intermittent fasting and the fasting we will discuss in this video just. So in this video we will just understand about the whole story of the evolution, and we will also learn how intermittent fasting which that is innervating with the evolutionary process to the Homo sapiens formation ultimately throughout the millions of years is requirement for this evolutionary process arise. And in this video we are just understanding about the biological topic. So remember that we are just understanding about the biological topic, not any other innovation we are going to understand. So basically we are just understanding ourselves with related to the intermittent fasting and how intermittent fasting will improve our body and modification. So remember one thing, so intermittent fasting which that give the stay for your digestive system relaxation and other immune system relaxation and preparation of your body, increase the growth of your body, increase the function of the brain, and size of the brain will increase due to the neuron increase due to the brain. Basically brain will increase the number of neurons for cognition, and the interrelationship between the interneuron will improve the memory, improve the cognitive powers and learning behavior, and increase the basically awareness of everything. And that is the modification due to the a restriction of diet. And when restrict the diet, so in this way the other activity can be easily performed due to even the activeness, and you can improve your brain blood circulation to the cranium. The cranial circulation will increase due to the less circulation in your digestive system. So that is why the continuously evolutionary process which that give arise the Homo sapien with the different extinct species. And basically the different type of species arised in the past time, and that is why some species more adapted to fight each other and to win that game, to enhance their reproduction and chance to reproduce more. And those species who reproduce more will go forward. And when go forward in this way, basically the forwarding going further going on to fight again to each other to produce a new species which that is basically primates. And primate is basically we are primates, and a primate is basically our ancestor also, like chimpanzee which that is relation of the DNA, the genetic material is most similar, but the some dissimilarities also present. So in this way the basically we are mammals, so the primate is mammal, and we are basically and not only carnivores or herbivores, we are collectively omnivores, and we can increase our nutrition. And in this way the fasting which that is also right now is going in the trend throughout the life, because you are eating 3 times meal in a day. But the more enhancement of your memory, more enhancement of your body, more enhancement of your physique and physiology is due to the increase of the intermittent fasting duration, which that will lead to prepare your mind, prepare your body, and will quit the other disease like diabetes and other, because diabetes is going in the trend in this time. Why? Because we are not following the intermittent fasting rhythms, and we are not going to understand the intermittent fasting. But in the many years ago, the millions years ago, the diet, the nutrition, the food was very limited. But in this time, if we will compare a comparison, because the growing of the population with the growth of the food production, the GMO, the genetically modified organism, which that is increasing, will lead to also the sugary fruit which that is increasing, which that will lead to spike the insulin, will cause the damage your pancreas, the damage your basically insulin insensitivity will increase, so the damage of your tissue due to the spike of the insulin will damage the insulin receptor in the several type of tissue. So in this way, basically the intermittent fasting means you are rewinding your ancestor, you are revising your ancestor, and you are increasing the ancestral behavior due to the gene activation. That gene is basically activated to enhance the health and enhance the physiology and changes of the physiology, which that will lead to increase your health problems, and basically health problem solving process will increase, so that solve the disease and other things. So that is why intermittent fasting is everything, because the evolutionary process is creating more and more adaptation to increase the size of brain due to the food enhancement. But the increasing with the passage of time, the food is increasing but cause also the many problems. So how to fix it? We should adopt intermittent fasting and ketogenic diet. But intermittent fasting is so important, because when you will turn on the intermittent fasting, your body will repair and your body get the chance to increase the brain size, increase the growth of the brain, and increase the growth of the muscles, and increase the growth of your whole organs. So that is why, and in this way, the arteriosclerosis, type 2 diabetes, which that can be prevented due to the this problem solving procedure. When you will adopt the intermittent fasting, you can improve yourself, you will adopt yourself, and you will unfortunately increase the gene activation of your ancestor, because the gene is already present but that gene is methylated. You should acetylation due to the environmental changes. Environmental changes means the intermittent fasting adaptation, which that will lead to enhance the DNA expression, will lead to produce that protein, which that will be feel the satiety, and you will not feel the appetite, because this is a long process which that you will not able to understand. But basically I will give the shortcut. Basically the leptin and the leptin hormone, which that will produce, and the insulin will not produce. Leptin will produce from the adipose tissue through a gene activation, and the insulin will not produce, means you will not feel hungry. And in this way you should understand about the water drinking process is also limited, because the many years ago people use the water but limited, not drink more water. On the other hand, important thing you should need to understand, the previous time the genetically modified food was not, and that is why the healthy nutritious food, nutrition rich food, you can get the chance of the nutrition rich food more. That is why your potassium level will be increased, because the potassium is so much important for nerve impulse, the regulation of the content within the cell and the blood circulatory system, for example plasma or extracellular. So that is why the potassium is the intracellular cation, while the sodium is the extracellular cation, which that will maintain the homeostasis of the cell. Within the cell and out of the cell, the extracellular and intracellular content of the cell should be regulated. And in this way, basically the all thing is due to the intermittent fasting, which that will absorb more nutrients and work that nutrients on your body, not waste. And that is why that's all thing which that will lead to improve your mind and improve your brain, and even ultimately you will be get more intelligence as compared to the before, because the ketones we produce, the ketogenesis during the fasting time, the fasted state will produce the ketones through ketogenesis, and that ketones is basically very helpful for the brain to provide more energy and increase the growth of the brain, and deposition of the protein in the form of increase of the neurons will lead to improve the memory and all these things. So I hope you make sense about that. So let's begin to understand with the whole story about the evolutionary process, and we will learn about all these things, and we are just understanding for the intermittent fasting, but we should understand how the ancestor will develop into the homo sapiens, the primate will develop into the homo sapiens. Basically the evolutionary process which that will lead to give the branches, and in this way the homo sapiens mean the superior animal which that will not which that will not allow to kill himself, but they kill to other weak population of the species. Basically similarity is 50% or 60%, but they kill because they are more superior than him. So that is why that war is right now, already war is also present. So that is why the evolutionary process which that give the technology and other due to your mind improvement, so that is all thing is through ketogenic diet. So let's begin to understand how the evolution will work and how the evolution is working still. Basically right now the evolutionary process is going on, and we don't know about the future, and we don't know about the modification of the homo sapien into another type of species can be possible, but we don't know. And in this way, remember that things basically the modification is due to the due to the recovery, and that is recovery will going on the generation after generation, the recovery again and again to improve the higher brain cortex, which that higher brain cortex when improve means your all things will be improved. So let's begin to understand. So, in this way, the human, chimpanzee, and monkey share DNA but not gene regulatory mechanism. Humans share over 90% of their DNA with their primate cousins. The expression or activity patterns of genes differ across species in ways that help each species distinct biology and behavior. So, in this way, the basically is the 90% of their DNA primate cousins. So that is why this relationship, which that is the best evidence. And human and chimpanzees share a common ancestor approximately 5 to 7 million years ago. The difference between the two genomes is actually not approximately 1%, but approximately 4%, comprising the approximately 35 million single nucleotide difference and approximately 90 million base of insertion and deletions. So this basically is the this is the knowledge about the ancestor and our Homo sapien process, and in this way the Australopithecus afarensis, which lived 3.9 to 2.9 million years ago. And after this, basically, the extinct species before 2.31 to 1.65 million years ago was, upon species description in 1964, is Homo habilis, was highly contested with many researchers recommending it be synonymized with Australopithecus africanus, the only other early human in known at the time. So this is the extinct species before 2.31 to 1.65. But Homo habilis received more recognition at the time went on and more relevant discoveries were made. By the 1980s, the Homo habilis was proposed to have been a human ancestor directly evolving into Homo erectus, which directly led to modern humans. So remember that things. And that is why this is the adaptation and continuously modification due to the brain changes due to the fasting processes. So in this way, here is the extra working after the eating will lead to using to the tools is the best characteristic of primates, and this is will lead to cause the modernism and the changing of the behavior and learning improvement for the further again food consumption. So Homo erectus meaning the upright man is an extinct species of archaic human from the Pleistocene with its erectus earliest occurrence about 2 million years ago. So this is the more closer than the others, and this is more closer to the Homo sapien. And the Homo neanderthaliensis is 40,000 years ago. It is subspecies of archaic human in Eurasia period, and in this way the 1,46,000 years old archaic human cranium represents a new species Homo longi. It is closely to the Homo sapiens, and you can see in this diagram the muscular, and this is on the basis of the cranium representation via a computerized, and the Homo longi is the phylogenetically closer to Homo sapiens than to Neanderthalis or Thales or other archaic human, according to new research described in the Innervation. And the human Homo sapiens, which that is the superior in this time, are the most abundant and widespread species of primate, characterized by the bipedalism and exceptional cognitive skills due to a large and complex brain. This has enabled the development of advanced tool, culture, and language. Humans are highly social and tend to live in complex social structures composed of many cooperating and complex groups from families and kinship network to political states. And in this way, remember that things basically it is due to the competition which that will lead to more superiority of the individual person, and due to the improve their mind during the fasting time to relax brain to increase and improve the recovery time to improve the neuron will lead to more intelligence and will lead to more and more evolved person. And in this way its intelligence and its desire to understand and influence the environment and to explain and manipulate the phenomena have motivated humanity development of science, philosophy, mythology, religious and other field of study, which that will is continuously improving to the person to more like a giant person and more intelligent person. And that is why basically is the intermittent fasting is continuously working to improve their brain, and throughout the world the environmental factor is changing the human. And in this way the higher cortical function include the language, vision, recognizing object in space and a lot of things. And evidence is the new creation in art and science and in war ethics, behavior development and other technological process, which that will lead to more improve the brain for the further in understanding the technology and improve the revolutionized the technology like a cyborg. That is the innovation of the technology in the human body. Insert the technology to the body to improve the cyborg, connect with the internet. We are already 50% cyborg, will be in future 90%. In this way, we will be completely depend to the technology, and we will ultimately will become a technology rich innervation in our body will lead to change our human life. So anyway, but this is the separate thing you should need to understand. Basically, the changes through our technology. That is why the brain involving for this process. So in this way, here you can understand this is the chart. You can learn from this, and this is the basically the Homo sapien will arise via our several branch which that is killed by the Homo sapiens through a wars, and that was the weak species will be extinct while we are surviving continuously because the food availability and the form of grouping and the intermittent fasting continuously. Now in this time the revolutionized time which that will lead to more adapt due to the intermittent fasting trend.